Usually at this point, I would read out every single GP2 champion, but we have moved on to the F2 era. It'll be time today to select the first ever Formula 2 champion of GP4 OC. Welcome everybody. And either Sam at us glory and become Formula 2's first ever champion. Who's it going to be? Well, we're here at Interlagos in Brazil for round 14 of the season. It has been a very amazing season. And can you still hear? Oh, oh, right. Let me try to sort it out. I'll exit and rejoin. Okay, back. Is it better now? All right. I'm not sure how much of it you were able to hear, guys, but welcome to the championship finale here in Formula 2. We're gonna get our first ever F2 champion crowned in the GP4 OC F2 series. It is going to be either Samer Oskan, Jonatas Martins, or Ben Zwallinger experiencing glory, the other two experiencing defeat. But who's it going to be? I am your commentator, Robert Ionescu, and alongside me is Joseph Willows. Hello there, Joe. Are you excited for this finale?
Indeed, I am, and it should hopefully be an exciting finale. I mean, three drivers still have a mathematical chance of winning the title, but realistically, it is between two drivers, really, both driving for the same team, really. And well, it will be interesting to see who will walk away as the first champion underneath the F2 banner today.
Yeah, absolutely right. Hightech have already won the team style last time out in the United States. It's a fight between their two drivers, Samerovsky and Jonatas Bart. But Ben Zwallinger still has an outside shot, should he win the race and take the fastest lap.
Indeed, but we will wait and see, of course, as I'm pretty sure we'll see the criteria on the screen very, very soon before we get onto the grid.
Yep. We didn't keep it that complex, and let me know when the people can see it.
I've only just realised the graphic has got a little bit of a graphic error on the top left, but oh well. Just ignore that little logo that's on the top left when you see it. It's got the wrong logo on it. It's meant to have the F2 logo instead of
Oh,
the
the
World Champ
Champ
Car
Car
logo.
logo.
Yeah,
Well,
apologies for that.
nevertheless, here we have the criteria. For Samet Oskan, he can afford losing 8 points to Martins and 26 to Wallinger. And yeah, 26 to Wallinger. For Martins, he needs to outscore Oskan by 9 points, which means that if Martins wins the race and takes the fastest lap, he will be champion no matter where Oskan finishes. If he wins the race, he needs Oskan third. If he finishes second, he needs Oskan sixth. If he finishes third, he needs Oskan in P8. No, not P8. It's P8. No, P7. P7. He needs Oskan in P7. If he finishes fourth, he needs Oskan P8. If he finishes fifth, he needs Oskan P9. If he finishes sixth, he can't win the championship unless he gets the fastest lap. That's the criteria for Martins, and he can also afford to lose 18 points to Valdigar. For Benz Valdigar, it's quite simple. Outscore Oscar by 27 points, which can only be done by getting the winner at the fastest lap, while Oscar gets 1 point maximum. And for Martins, he needs to outscore Martins by 19 points. Those are the criteria for the championship. Now then, let's take a look at the grid because one of these guys has a pretty good advantage as we approach the start of this race. Shall we get to it, Joe?
Indeed so. Let's have a look at the final grid of the season.
All right, as per usual, 4x4. Juan Nguyen takes his first pole position at Prema. First pole position of the season. This is moving to Prema. Ratas Martins is second, joining him on the front row. The Brazilian in his home race could be a drive to the title. Have to wait and see. He might be regretting missing out on the 4 bonus points for pole, but he's going to try to win the title. Blake Moore is third in the car lane, a very good qualifying for him. I think his best effort so far this season with Jafari Blackwood in P4 on the grid.
Ruslan Protsuk starts in 5th with Fongchanik Keoshani in 6th position. Dennis Graf, a track which is usually one of his favourites, in 7th, with Samat Oscar and having it all to do to try and win the title in 8th.
Yep, that's right. Alexander Arnold, who had the exact same time as Oscar, qualified in P9. We're looking for Ida Tev. Daniel Darabush is P11 as Eric Curtis, the reigning champion. On what might be his last race, should be promoted to the top class. Is in 12th place. He'll be hoping to get his first win, but it's going to be a little tricky.
Gabriel Rico in his home race will start in 13th with Jose Federic Suto in 14th. Agatina Bavona all the way down in 15th with Adam Chobot in 16th.
Yep, Henry Watson is in P17 with Rose Hansen in 18th. There we have the two virtuosos of Gabriel Quintero and Benz Valdigar. Valdigar with a whole lot of work to do if he wants to win this championship. He needs to win the race and set the fastest lap, so unless he pulls a brilliant comeback and wins the race from P20, he's not gonna win the title. And on the back row of the grid, it is Heto Sturdobe, and sorry, you were supposed to do those, but it's also Tobias Kress who had the penalty.
Tobias Kress with a 10-place grid penalty, meaning he starts in last. It was 13th he qualified, but because we've only got 22 places, he starts in last anyway. But let's have a look at the weather then for the final race of the season.
Will it be dry? Will it be wet? It will be dry.
Yep,
well then, the only question that remains is, are you ready? Because we are.
Whilst we wait for this long loading screen to do what it needs to do, might as well ask you, Rob, who do you think will win the title?
I think it's going to go to Martins.
I'm leaning towards the same as well. I think Martins, obviously it's his home race as well, let's not forget. I mean, a brilliant way to win the title would be to win at your home event as well. And, he'd add his name to the list of Brazilians who have won the Feeder Series title. So I think it's going to be Martins today.
Including, Gabriel Gomez missed out on title in a heartbreaking defeat to Termin Otero in 2015. But Rodrigo Gomez and Dudu Kirby have won the championship here in Brazil. So could he join the list of Brazilians who have won the title in Brazil? We will have to wait and see, because Oscar is sure as hell not going to give that title up without a fight. High-Tech have secured the team's championship, so they've got nothing against their drivers going at it and racing each other.
Definitely not, and there's obviously no team orders at High-Tech either, because as you said, of course, the team title has been secured, and it's really down to those two. I mean, Valdinger's obviously got a chance, but it is only an outside chance, and he's got to do it all from 20th on the grid, so he's going to need the fight back of his life if he's got any chance of winning this season's title.
Yep, indeed, but it's not impossible. We've seen Termin Otero perform an incredible comeback. Who knows what's going to happen in these 43 laps of racing action. Nguyen is on the left of the screen, on the right side of the grid. Martins at the other side. We're gonna get going here, Brazil, to decide this F2 championship, and to decide there is a go. It's time to get racing, and Martins has got an okay start. He's trying to hold out the second, and Nguyen comfortably remains in the lead. Nobody gets past him. Looks like Moore is making a move past Martins. Brilliant stuff there towards the ZIS. Has there been a little bit of contact behind? No, it doesn't look like it. Tsunami is dropped down to 22nd. As now Martins is coming back at Blake Moore. With straight line speed down the red top post. Can he get him on the braking yet? Well, yes, he can get him on the braking, as Jafari Blackwood has been hit. He's collided with his teammate. Oh my goodness me. That's not going to be a very happy Charles P. Dams. And both of his cars in the wars and in big trouble. Big trouble.
I think Keoshani actually got hit by somebody else at the start. I think the whole thing with his teammate was a separate incident, but he just ran into him as Graf has lost his front wing. So I think it might have something to do with Graf, in fact.
Well, it looks like Graf's streak of podium finishes here in Brazil will be coming to an end today.
Everybody's having to scrounge around to make sure that nobody collects anyone. But where is Oscar out of all of this? Because I think he's gained quite a lot from all of that that's happened. I think he's up in sixth place, and with Martin's in second place. But at the moment, that I don't think will be enough to win the title.
Martins will win like this.
Yes, he would. He would win the championship by 2 points if it were to stay like this. But let's have a look at the replay at the start here.
He's trying to go for a double pass on his teammate Blackwood and on Project as well at the same time. They just cut the corner a little bit. And
I think what happened there was, I think he was taking avoiding action from Graf because he'd obviously hit the back of his teammate and feared that Graf may swerve into the side of him. So he took avoiding action, but in doing that, he went over the sausage curb, lost the back end, and then ended up spinning. And then next thing you know, Blackwood and Kayashani were just passengers, and now both of them will have to double stack into the pits.
I think the only guilty party in this is Graf because he caused the initial chaos. So was spinning himself around trying to take evasive action. And he rejoined the track safely. It's not like we're going to give him a grid penalty for the next race. Because, you know, there is no next race. We're not as petty as to give their drivers a penalty for first race of next season. We don't do that here. As Henry Watzel is making a move on Gabriel Rico. Can he pass the Brazilian? Yes, he can. And the home supporters will not be happy about that. Benz Wallinger, he's climbed up 2 places at the start. He's got 17 more places to climb up if he wants to win this championship. And, yeah.
Dams are going to have to double stack, but Nguyen has got a bit of a gap out the front, as meanwhile Suto looks to the inside of Hansen, that is, and goes up into 15th position. As the Dams are having to double stack, but I think Graf is going to have to go the long way round, and it's affected him quite heavily. This has, so I think he's going to have to wait for Blackwood to finish his pit stop. And now there's chaos involved in the pit lane here, but eventually they basically distangle each other, basically, and untangle each other. But Kayashani's been held up a lot more than what he would have done.
Yeah, the mechanics just removed the tires and now they're bringing them back. My goodness.
I think Shani is going to be a lap down as a result of this, and yes, he will, because Nguyen has just crossed the line.
He could be impeding some of the drivers up front, depending on what his pace is like.
He gets going, but not exactly what he needed. But anyway, back to the track action as we've got Quintino all over the back of his fellow Gabriel, Rico, that is.
2 Brazilians scrapping it out. Quintino, obviously, this will be his last race in F2. Until he decides to come back, but next season he won't be on the grid because he did not sign up. We know that much. Adam Chobot is trying to join this battle as well, and he's gaining good slipstream on Rico out to the Curva do Sol, onto the Reto Post, and Rico is much slower than him in the straight line. Chobot gets the move down without any difficulty.
Sinanum gets by on Valdinger there, so Valdinger has slim chances of not helping at all as he's been overtaken by Sinanum.
Yeah, indeed. Either way, even if Valdinger was first to fastest lap right now, still won't cut it. He needed 2 high-techs to drop a few positions. He needs Oskin 10th, Martin 6th.
Yeah, indeed, and it's looking like that's going to be a bit of a hard task. In fact, I think he'd need Oskin to be out of the points because he can't pass him on a countback, so he'd need him to be out of the points.
Oh yeah, he needs him to be out of the points. So he needs to hope something happens to Oskan, and then he also needs to hope Martin loses a couple of places.
Yep, but at the moment,
all the while charging up to the front of the field and winning the race. Those are Ben Wallinger's conditions, and now Rose Hansen is making a move on Joseph Eric Suto. He's going very aggressively defending into turn 1. Hansen forces the note and had to tuck a lot onto the apex to avoid collision.
Indeed, but now Kress and Sinanum are now right onto the back of Henson now, and Kress is going to try and have a go down towards turn 4. Sinanum just waiting for any opportunity to pounce just behind.
I think he's going to try to get both of them.
Kress goes through into 16th there, and now Henson into the clutches of both Sinanum and Valdinger, who's got himself back into the fight.
Yeah, Valdinger needs to pass these guys quickly. It's a long race, but the more time you waste, the more time you'll have to recover later when you catch up to the leaders.
Indeed so, as we now look at, this is Delibos Daniel, who's now all over the back of Bavona, as I think Oscan is on the back of fifth place man Alexander Arnold in front. Is he close enough to go for a move? I'm not sure. I think he might be going for a move here, is he? Well, Daniel tried to have a go.
No, but Bavona squeezed him towards the pit entry, as now Oscan is going for the move on Arnold. Arnold keeps him behind.
If he gets by him, that would be a championship winning position for Oscan, because obviously Martins can't beat him on a countback of wins at the moment, and currently Martins is in second place. So if Oscan could get by on Arnold here, he would be in a championship winning position.
Yeah, unless Martins were to take the lead. Starabosh where it takes the Prima he was racing of Bavona. And was that a damage just going wide? No.
I don't think it was, as Oscar tried to have a go up the hill there, but it didn't quite work out. As I think Martins is actually catching to Nguyen.
Yeah, sorry, Hansen's lost the position, but yeah, I think Martins is getting on Nguyen. You know, Wallinger still in 19th, needs to clear this car, then a few more. Darabosh confirmation of overtaking Bavona.
Get up into 7th place there, and it looks like the two high-techs are into combat, as meanwhile a battle for third brews as well between Protsuk and Moore here.
Moore's gonna shut the door, almost pushing Protsuk towards pit lane entry. Pretty standard move here in Brazil, and he's not gonna be close enough to attack into turn 1. Moore did feel the need to go defensive though, and looks like we're having a little bit of an Nguyen train right now.
As I don't know if Oscan's got by on Arnold just yet, because they were fighting for 5th, as I think we've already seen this overtake between Sinome and Henson, so I don't think we need to look at it again. As Crest tries to have a go at Suto there, but it's not going to work out. Again, kind of the same story, as Protsuk now on the inside of Moore, but not able to get the move done. Bit surprised by that. Valdinger gets through into 18th place there, as now the two ARTs continue to fight for the final points place. So, yeah, as now, can Crest get by on Suto on this occasion?
Alright, let's see. Yeah, he's got him. I'm back. Oh, Mechanician had a lag spike, I guess, but now I'm back. Alright then, so we've seen that move. Relegating through Suto down to place. Now Benz Waldinger. He needs to pass Rose Hansen quickly. Meanwhile, Moore and Protsuk are getting closer to the cars in front, so Wang Nguyen is pretty much setting a full space. As now Protsuk is going for the outside. Is he gonna switch to the inside? He is. Can he get around the braking? Darabosh can't on Oscan. If Oscan passes Darabosh, she could be a hindrance to him. And big help to Martins.
Could be a massive favour for Martins in this race, as Watson again tried to have a go at Farina into the first corner, but it didn't work out. As you can see, Nguyen's feeling pressure from Martins. Protsuk on the inside of Moore, and he finally gets the move done. Protsuk onto the podium.
Yep, he was on the podium in the first race of the season and the second race of the season. Maybe he'll be on the podium on the last race of the season. Darabosh is overtaking Samuel Oscan.
He's up into 6th, so he may be doing Martins a solid there, because Oscan is now going to lose some more points to Martins as a result. Meanwhile, Valdinger now on the inside of Suto, who's been overtaken by Kress. He's got him 17th place for the Hungarian driver, but again, he's going to need quite a lot of luck in this race, as Martins tries to put Nguyen under pressure in the fight for the lead, but they've got to be careful, because I think Protsuk could gain onto these two as well.
Protsuk is fueled heavier than them, and Nguyen is fueled 3 laps lighter than Martins, I think, and then Protsuk's got another 1 or 2 laps over Martins. So this will be interesting. If Protsuk has a stronger pace, he could deny Martins the win, or deny him second, which would obviously make things easier for Samuel Oscan, as Waldinger confirmation of him passing just for Suto earlier.
Yep, as Watzel still can't get by on Farina in their fight for 10th place. Obviously, the two ART guys will want to try and keep it clean, otherwise they'll have the boss to deal with. But meanwhile, Dwebush Daniel all over the back of Arnold now from the fight for 5th.
Easy pass.
And he gets the move done. That's P5 for Dwebush.
Yep, now then, Watzel attacking Farina. He's got him. Easy pass once again into turn 4. Kress v Rico. Kress, of course, trying to compete for a seat at Aston Martin. He's got the move done. If he gets that seat, we all know Luca Farina was confirmed to have one of the seats of Aston Martin. Came as a surprise, of course. We'll see who gets the other one as our graph.
Andre Videri, Rob, not Luca Farina. Wrong Italian.
Did I say Luca Farina? I meant
You
Andrea
said
Federi the whole
Farina.
time, sorry. I'm so sorry, but
Farina,
Dennis
Jim.
Graf just overtook Jafari Blackwood.
Yep, that's a good move there. It looked a little bit tight going into the first corner, but Graf was able to make it work there. And Blackwood had to do a slight correction going through into turn 3 there, but luckily a clean move nonetheless. There's now we've got Quintino who's all over the back of Farina.
Oh yeah, I remember. Brazil is the track where they show off the black flags.
Yeah, this is the one with the confusing graphics. Vivona's got Bayern Oskin meanwhile.
Wow, so Oscar loses another position. He's down to 8th, which would be safe for Martins, even if Martins don't go too far. Then we got a collision between Sinonome and Rico.
Yeah, yep. So Rico's out of his own race. Is a similar accident to what we saw yesterday in qualifying, which I think also involved Keoshane and Quintino.
Quintino makes the move.
But we got a retirement already in the form of
We have to see how it happened because they kept flying.
Yeah, indeed, but we're
Sinonome is trying to find his pit box. Are they going to repair his car?
Doesn't look like it. I think the races are done with.
They're desperately trying to turn around and start those mechanics to do their work, but they need to stop, and then maybe they'll replace that wheel.
Might be an issue for both for Rico and forgot the other driver, Synonym. There we go.
We should see how the crash happened, but has the game crashed?
No, it hasn't crashed. I think Flo's actually put a red flag out. Actually, looking onto the graphic because we don't have it on the screen. We have to look on the stream for that.
Red flag.
Yep. So it seems we've got a red flag for the first time in a while. I think.
So we're going to restart the race with the positions.
Just bear with, guys.
But can we see a replay of how they collide?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna have to. We'll have a look and. Let's see. I think it's a similar crash to what we saw yesterday between Quintino and Keoshane here. And yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he went so far left. He went underneath the canopy of the grandstand, and somehow moved through the building. He's inside the building above the garages, and now he got teleported back to pit road, and he's trying to go to his garage to get his car repaired. They need to make these walls out of materials that you can't pass through, because you shouldn't be able to pass through the pit wall.
Yeah, indeed. As those two are out of the race, but of course we will be restarting the race as soon as we can, because it looks like those two are going to bug the pit lane entrance for both Moore and Graf. I think the
So
other first one there.
So a complete restart, a new seed?
I don't think it's going to be a complete restart, because I don't know if Flo's going to take out those ones who are out of the race. So, but we'll see, of course.
Yeah.
So just bear with, and we'll get the race restarted for the moment. So don't go anywhere for the moment. So just
yep. And in the meantime, what should we talk about?
Oh, obviously we could talk about some stuff that was happening in that race. Oskin looked like he was dropping backwards during that race, which is not going to bode well for his championship if that were the case.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Martins is fighting for the win. Oscar needs to be a heck of a lot closer to him if he wants to stay in contention.
Indeed, as we wait for the race to get restarted. And that's that. So we will wait and see how this one's going to unfold. Whether we'll have all 22 cars or it will just be 19 cars again, we'll wait and see. But at the moment, we're kind of in a bit of an unknown territory. At the moment, it's fair to say.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see how things change once we get back.
Looks like we're back onto the main game. Okay. Well, all I can say is that Flo's currently restarted the game at the moment, and I'm not sure exactly what he's planning, but we will see. But that's all we have at the moment. You obviously can't see it at the moment, but well, you can actually. We can see it on the screen actually, on the YouTube stream. But yeah, that's kind of that. But Flo said that people shouldn't be able to see this, but clearly they can. So anyway, I think we're going to try and actually trial something here, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see if this works, and then we'll go back onto you guys on the screen if that is the case. As right, okay. So just bear with, guys, and we'll get the race restarted as soon as we possibly can. Really.
Yeah. Are we going back all the way to race start?
That's a replay we're looking at the moment.
Yeah,
so,
right.
There's a replay we are currently looking at the moment. So. Just getting to the part where I think the accident's about to occur on our end at the moment. As I think what Flo's trying to do here is he's trying to get both Rico and Synonome to basically best way of describing it really is he's trying to avoid that accident happening between the pair of them. He wants to make sure they both run out of fuel before they get to the pits. So that's what he's trying to do. So we don't have that little pit issue between the pair of them.
Yeah.
So there you go. He's got it working for those two. So that should sort the little issue out. And I think you guys will get the screen soon once I think those two have finished retiring, as it were. So,
Wait, wasn't it supposed to be Rico, not Graf? Or was it Graf?
Well, it was Rico. It was Rico. So I got Graf and Rico mixed up. I meant Rico. Because Graf obviously had damage on the first lap, so it wasn't him. So it's obviously Rico that's the one that's meant to be out of the race. But they have pulled off to the side of the track, so there will be yellow flags down there. So we shouldn't get that little issue. So we are now back on the air, Rob.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We're back with this race, and Ray, let's get this show to continue. There are two retirements, and Nome and Gabriel Rico, but they are because they ran out of fuel this time.
Yep.
Flo made them run out of fuel to avoid them activating the pit lane glitch.
But on the main action, Martins is coming under pressure from Protsiuk, I believe.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like Protsiuk charging up the field could help Oscar as well, because as long as Oscar isn't hemorrhaging too many places, he can afford to get back in championship contention if Martins were to lose one or two. But looks like Martins is quite fast behind Gwen. He will try to get closer to him as well before Protsiuk can pile an overtake on him. Chow Chanat, meanwhile, down in 20th. He's battling with his teammate Blackwood.
So this is he's trying to unlap himself at the expense of Oskin, but Oskin is not letting him go because obviously
right.
Chanat got double stacked in the pits, as you may remember.
Right. I remember. So he wasn't battling Blackwood. He's trying to unlap himself from Oscar, and Oscar has to let him by. You don't want to crash a back marker in Brazil. Max Verstappen would know. As Chow Chanat makes the move, but this is costing Oscar a lot of time, and he'll be ordered to let him go back through soon enough anyway.
Yep, indeed. As meanwhile, Henson trying again on Suto now, going down towards turn 4, sorry, and he's got and they've got the move done up into 16th position, and as they are still attempting to clear
Black flag for the top two there in the meantime. Martins pulling away from Protsiuk behind, but also not gaining Antunguen in front. So rather interesting. This 4-car train seems to be split by... I'd say these 4 are evenly matched at the moment. No one can get too close to the car in front of them.
Yes, indeed, as Moore is trying to get back at Protsiuk at the moment. The top 4 still grouped together as he speaks. Meanwhile, we've got Watzel who's all over the back of Aaron Curtis in the fight for 9th position, as they're both trying to gain onto Oskin in front. And has Watzel got the move done? He has indeed. That's P9 for the ART driver.
Yeah, good move. Sends Curtis down a place. So Curtis, if he wants to get his first win, he's going to need to push some more. Soto was battling with Hansen into the first corner. Here goes Gabriel Quintino, getting that last point from Aaron Curtis. Yellow flags are still out for the final few corners, but it's not an overtaking opportunity, so it's not gonna matter if the yellow flag stays there all race long.
I don't think it will, because the barrier is actually quite far away, as you can see. So it's going to take the marshals a bit of a while to get them hoisted over the barriers, and then the yellows can eventually clear away. But as you said, it's not really an overtaking place, young Cowie, so it's not going to really affect the racing too much.
I think Lewis Hamilton and Timo Glock is an exception for that part of the track.
Yeah, but that's only if it was changeable conditions. Anyway, Quintino,
Yeah,
as mentioned, he's back into the points. As meanwhile, the top 4 still grouped together, and Protsiuk surprisingly still not close enough to get a hold. As meanwhile, Watzel is about to attack Oskin for P8 here. Can he get another move? He's actually on a bit of a charge, is Watzel right now, as they go side by side down towards the first corner. Is Watzel going to get the move done on Oskin to really help Martins even more? And you know what? He does. That's P8 for Watzel.
How much fuel does Oskan have?
He has 11.7 laps worth of fuel.
And Watzel?
That's hold that thought at the moment, because Quintino is going to have a go. 10.7 for Watzel. There's now Quintino on the inside of Oskin, and that's another place lost for Oskin.
Oskin is only scoring 1 point like this.
This is not looking good for Oskin, as things stand at the moment. His teammate Martins is going to win the title, but he's got Protsiuk all over him at the moment.
I think he can let Protsiuk by. If he finishes 5th, right, then if he finishes 5th, he'll have enough points for the title. So as long as he's 5th, Martin's alright right now.
I think he's so far going to be okay as things stand. Is Protsiuk going to get a run on Martins down towards the pit straight? Let's see.
He's gaining in the toe, but not gaining enough. He's going to have to try, if anything, into turn 4. Martins felt the need to go defensive, then went back to the racing line. But look at this, he's lost so much time in the first corner. Protsiuk is all over the back of him. Ignore the yellow flags, they aren't there. No yellows for this section of track. Ruslan Protsiuk is going to have a clean run at him, down the red post and into this Interlagos. But he just didn't seem to have the straight line speed to get alongside him.
Martin's able to stay in front of us, and it looks like Oscar could be out of the points here, because here comes Aaron Curtis, the outgoing champion, who could be making the move for P10 here, as he's on the inside. Has he got the move done? And he has. Oscar is out of the points.
Martins just needs to finish 5th. If he finishes P6, he'll need to take the fastest lap. So P6 and fastest lap for Martins. But without the fastest lap, he needs to finish 6th. No, he needs to finish 5th, sorry. That is his win condition. And he's got 3 cars chasing quite closely after him. He might in himself P5 in this race if he can't improve his pace, because Ruslan Protsuk right here is very fast and he's attacking him quite convincingly. He might be able to get him on the approach to the Senna S, but Martin's defends the inside. Protsuk trying to go around the outside and switches to the inside. Great move, but will the overtake be successful? No. Meanwhile, Darabosh overtakes Begmore. Up in the 4th place he goes. Bavona next, battling with Arnold into the first corner. Please keep it clean. And somehow they've kept it clean. And Arnold is in front, and Bavona's made a position and lost a lot of time.
Colours have now been lifted now, so there's no more yellow flags. So they've eventually been able to clear both Sinanome and Rico's cars, as Keoshani is now trying to unlap himself at the expense of Bavona, which he is able to do thanks to the fact he's got fresher tyres, although Bavona is trying to hang it around the outside like Oscar did earlier on, but Keoshani says no to that. He's officially unlapped himself with those fresher tyres he's got.
Oh yeah, he already pitted, didn't he?
He did, because of course the double snap, but because it was early stages, I'm expecting him to pit again, of course.
Yeah, naturally, but he's doing quite well for himself there.
Meanwhile, Protsuk is still putting Martins under pressure. All this is doing is allowing Nguyen to just get away a little bit out in front.
Oh yeah, just trying his lap down. I again forgot that.
As now we look at Protsuk now, then he's trying to make the move on Martins. I think this could be his best chance, you know.
Depends if he's getting that overlap, but Martins closes the inside. He's got a championship at stake. That he can't afford to be too aggressive.
But definitely not. And then now also got Dorebosh Daniel breathing down the net. Daniel, who, let's not forget, has had a pretty woeful season, wanted to finish the season on a high, as now Protsuk tries again to look on the inside, but again Martins just able to cover him off and hold on to that 2nd place. And I think now Dorebosh Daniel is right onto the back of the pair of them.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like it's going to be a 4-way fight with Blake Moore joining pretty soon if they can't speed up.
They go up the hill as well. Daniel goes a little bit wide going through into the right-hander there, but luckily nothing major there. I thought for a minute he was going to go off the track.
Where further up front still leads, but he's not pulling away that much, you know.
Yeah, indeed, as now going into the hairpin we go, as Protsuk will again try on Martins and see if he can get the move done.
Indeed, he will try, and he's got a good run up the hill for Junsao on the exit. I think this might be it.
We'll see, of course, as Protsuk's tucked in onto the back of Martins, but not close enough to get the move done on the home favourite.
Neither is Darabosh.
As now Watzel is all over the back of Agatina Bavona in the fight for 7th position. Can he get a run on the Italian heading down towards turn 1 as he tries to flick it to the inside, but I don't think he's going to have enough momentum, and as a result Bavona just going to hold on for the moment. As once again Protsuk on the inside of Martins. Has he got the move done this time by 3rd time's the charm? Down the inside, and he's got him. Yeah,
now Oskan needs to finish in P number 7 to take the title. I'm not quite sure of the math on that one.
I think, is it P? Hang on, let me think. Yeah, it is P7. He has to finish in P7 because the gap is, of course, 10 points. But he's got now Martins has got Dorebosh Daniel all over the back of him. I think we saw Wutzel get the move done on Bavona for P7, ironically.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, P7 it is.
And now up the hill, and it looks like Daniel's going to get a run on Martins here.
If Martins loses another position, that's going to be pretty bad. Because that would mean Oscar would only need Dave, I think.
Yeah, indeed. As meanwhile, Keoshani trying to unlap himself again, this time at the expense of Alexander Arnold in front, but Arnold not going to let him go, as Quintino is now trying to pressure Bavona for P8 here.
Yes, he is. And Bivona defends the inside, but can't do it so well. Meanwhile, Darabosh is getting onto Jonas Martins. Can he overtake him and send him down to P5? Yes, and now championship standings right now. Martins right now is ahead by only 2 points. If he loses one more position, his championship bid is over.
Tino gets the move done there on Bavona to get up into 8th position, as Arnold has just been unlapped, I think, by Kereshani, although he's not letting him go just yet, as Kereshani has now got through, or has he? Because Arnold's saying no to that, and could Watzel follow through here around
And the
Kereshani?
outside. Into Cotovelio, sorry. And now towards Becca de Paro. Watsel's still trying, but he can't get it done.
And now Quintino is right onto the back of him now, and this has also dragged Bavona into this. Whoa.
A little bit of a lockup for China, but it from here on out is going to be critical for
Jonas. There may have been contact there.
In front of these people.
I think there may have been contact there between Kereshani and Quintino, and yes, there was. Could Bavona repass Quintino here?
I think he will, and not just him.
As they're going to go side by side, as did Chobot get the move on Curtis? Chobot get by on Curtis? He did. He took advantage, and now he's into the point as a result of all that carnage. As Quintino just holds on to Bavona, who's just been mugged there by Chobot going around the outside.
This is some brilliant racing here. And Chobot might try to go for 3 out of 3.
Yep, Chobot on the inside of Quintino.
Press is in the pits meanwhile. Was that scheduled?
I think it might be, because we're on lap 18 of the race, so I think we're now at the schedule. No, that's a mechanical failure. It's a loose wheel for Tobias Kress.
But he's gonna get sorted. Thankfully, he made it into the pits, because otherwise that would have been terminal. Made it into the pits just in time. As now Curtis goes down the inside of Quintino to take position. Oskan is in 11th. Be very careful with this situation, because if Oskan gets up to 9th, he will take the championship.
Indeed.
If Martins drops down to 10th.
Yes, indeed. As we see where the issue happened to Kress. He was coming up the hill and coming around the left-hander. It was just right there. It's in fact the rear right that was the issue. So Kress has had. Luckily, the pits were not too far away. But I'm just trying to look at the fuel.
He's not been fueled.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit again. But look at Protsuit, meanwhile. He's gaining onto Nguyen here, and he's also dragging Dariusz Daniel with him.
He's very strong. He was stuck behind Martins for a little while, but now that he's got him out of the way, he's free to push, and push he is. Darabosh is trying to come along for the party as well. And Martins still isn't too far back. He could get onto these guys if he improves his pace a little. But yeah, Holmgren has led the first half of this race very comfortably. But I think his comfort is going to come to an end, and maybe his race leadership will end as well. As Darabosh is thinking of a move here, you know. He's got great straight line speed, you know. And he's got him.
P2 for the Hungarian. He's having a very good final race of the season. As Quintino retakes ninth from Curtis. Curtis went a little bit, obviously had to go a little bit wide to give Quintino the space. And it's now putting prow to Oskan now. Here we go.
Oskan's going to try to gun for 10th.
Going to try another go on the inside. Has he got the move done on Curtis heading down towards turn 4? He's on the inside. Can he break that a little bit later? The answer to that is no. Curtis holds on for the time being.
Great defense, the reigning champion. And he clearly, if Oskan is to be the next champion, then he's going to have to fight. And Curtis, I think, he wants to pass on the title, the championship to somebody who can fight. So if Oskan is to be champion, he's going to need to get past Curtis. That is for sure. And not just him.
Look at this pace from Dariusz Daniel now. He's going to fight for the lead here. The man who's last in the championship and who's had a very, very poor season could be looking at the lead here. He's right onto the back of Nguyen. He's going to look to the inside. Is Daniel going to take the lead and try and get Van Amersfoort Racing's first ever win? Down the inside, and he takes the lead.
Incredible stuff, but he's coming in this lap. Nguyen will pit 1 lap later. Protsuit will pit 4 laps later. The Protsuit could be going for a big overcut as Watson is just coming to the pits.
So has Gabriel Quintino as Protsuit tries to look to the inside of Nguyen, but he's not got in much of an overlap, so Nguyen is just going to hold on for the moment as Oskan's still trying to put Curtis under pressure, but he's also got Agatina Bavona breathing down his neck.
Yes, indeed, Joe. As Watzel is being serviced, he's gonna have laps to go at the end of this race comfortably. As now
Well,
Bavona is passing Oskan.
he's down the inside on the Swedish driver, and he gets the move done. But he's pitting this lap as well as Bavona, and now Farina
What about
is onto the back of
Oskan?
Oscar. I'm not sure, to be honest, with Oscar. As Daniel, of course, is pitting, but you can tell how much pace he had before this stint. He's actually now getting away from the Guin, who's now got Protziuk all over the backside of him, trying to put pressure on him.
He's gained 6 tenths in the last sector as Oskan confirmation got overtaken there. Elderbush with some explosive pace, but that's gonna come to an end. His stint is up.
Now into the pits now then for his mandatory pit stop. He'll hand the lead back to Nguyen, who's got, in fact, Proxy trying to go onto the inside on the right hand side there. Proxy maybe going for the lead. He's trying to have a go on the inside as Nguyen is just going to hold on for the moment, but he's compromised his entrance through to turn 2 there, and I think they've also brought Martins back into this. Daniel is now going to make his pit stop, but what's going on in front? I want to know what's going on at the front of the field, meanwhile, as Daniel is servicing the pits.
And the camera will pan over to Lance Stroll.
Who's lost the place? Who's lost the place to Martins?
Martins taking advantage of the squabbling.
Yes, indeed. I noticed that Proxy had a poor entrance going into turn 2. Martins was on the back, and Martin says, "Thank you very much. I'll take that place back from you." As his teammate Oscar will be pitting this lap.
Right. So he's pitting the same time as Bavona. So it seems Oskan's pace really isn't that strong today.
Indeed, as Bavona and Keoshane into the pits for the second time. Obviously, he had to pit early on. Oskan's into the pits now then, as I mentioned. Where is he going to end up after this pit stop? 8.4 seconds the pit stop lasts for him, as he actually jumps Bavona thanks to gouge advantage, so he gets back in front of him.
Yeah, he does, but now it remains to be seen if he can undercut the people in front of him, or they will overcut him. As Nguyen is also coming in, you know.
Nguyen's coming in, which will mean that Martins will take the lead temporarily, but he'll once again have Proxy breathing down his neck as Nguyen pulls to the left, and into the pits comes the Vietnamese driver.
The Brazilian fans are cheering in the grandstands as Martins takes the lead provisionally.
Does indeed, as Nguyen now then making his way into pit lane, as we have already passed the halfway point of the race here at Interlagos, and so see how quick the stop is going to be then for Ho Ang-min Nguyen, as Blake Moore is also into the pits for Carlin.
Yeah, indeed. And let's see if he'll impede him or not. Hopefully not. A small delay on the front left there.
He's been held up, though. Been held up by in fact, Adam Chobot. As a result of that, I think Moore has got the jump on him. Yes, he has.
Chobot helping his VAR teammate Darabush by giving the man who he had just passed a worse stop.
Moore is going to come out in 10th position. Nguyen will rejoin in 11th place. As we've got rain on the screen, but we're not expecting it to wetten up, of course. But for some reason, it is starting to rain here at Interlagos.
And there was a 0 chance of rain. What is this? Oh my goodness! It's like Abu Dhabi all over again.
But it is not expected to wet up, though, judging from the weather forecast. But we will wait and see, of course, as we look at Chobot, who's just rejoined right behind. I think that's the lapped Keoshane, if I'm not mistaken.
So we got a little bit of drizzle. Let's see how this will change things. Who has the fastest lap, by the way?
I'm actually not sure who's got the fastest lap. It is Daniel, in fact. Very much Daniel holds on to the fastest lap.
Oh, interesting. So Wallinger doesn't have it, which means he cannot win the championship, even if he wins this race, as Wallinger is now going to pit, and the man who will be the race leader once everyone makes their stops overtakes Wallinger, who came into the pits. And yeah, this race is not going to plan for Ben Wallinger. He's already a pit stop behind, and he's not going to get the fastest lap, much less win the race. So it's now just a 2-horse race between the Hydeks. And Protic is quite hot on the heels of Martins. Martins needs to exercise extreme caution here. He can let him go, just don't let too many people past you, and you will take the points you need to overwhelm Oskan.
Yeah, indeed, as Proxy once again trying to put him under immense pressure, as neither of them are pitting yet, so they'll be staying out for at least one more lap. But will Proxy get a running him down towards turn 1? Let's see.
I think Martins knows this is extremely well, and Protsuk is taking advantage of that. Martins can't afford the crash here. Protsuk has nothing to lose, so it's an interesting battle between the pair of them.
As they make their way down towards the first corner now, then will Proxy get a run through out of the S's and maybe try and get him into turn 4? As I think I saw a pit call for one on the top 2. I'm not sure if it was either Martins or Proxy. It's Martins. Martins is coming into the pits this lap.
Yeah, he is, but Protsuk is still pressurizing him hard.
Yep, and he's not got the move done as Suto comes into the pits. I think somebody else pitted in front of him as well. I'm not quite sure who it was. It's Rose Henson who's come in, so a few more pit stops happening. Of course, Martins is coming in, and then we should expect Proxy to pit either a lap or two after Martins.
Either way, if Darabos wins this race, he will still be last in the championship, I think, because Blake Moore is also picking up a good haul of points.
Indeed, it's look at Valdinger, meanwhile, who's got a run on the Jafari Blackwood in front. It looks like he's going to get the move done down into the first corner. On the inside goes the Hungarian, and he's got the move done. That's P15 for Bence Valdinger.
Only 14 more he needs to take, and the fastest lap as well. It's not impossible.
Martins peels to the left, and he's coming into the pits this lap, meaning Proxy will take the lead temporarily, but of course he still needs to make his pit stop.
I think Protsuk is trying his hardest again with the overcut.
Where is the Martins going to emerge after this pit stop? There were a few hold-ups for some of the drivers he was racing with, so it looks like he's going to be the only one in the pit lane from the looks of it, or one of few people in the pit lane, so he shouldn't have any traffic issues, but let's see.
Yeah, here we go, Martins. At the moment, he needs to be in the top 5. With Oscar at the points, he needs the top 5 to take the championship. If he's P6, he's not going to win unless he takes the fastest lap.
It'll be pretty close between him and Moore, though, I can say that much. But I think...
Yeah, but there's someone in the top 5 who hasn't stopped yet, other than Protsuk.
Martins is going to rejoin in front of Moore, so luckily for him, Moore did not get the jump on him. It's actually Aaron Curtis and Alexander Arnold, so 2 guys in front who get to pit. Protsuk is also pitting this lap.
Yeah, indeed. Oscar now needs to pray that Martins drops out of the top 5. That's his best path to victory now. I don't see how he'll be able to overtake the cars he's racing with, considering they'll have fresher tires than him. Oscar pitted pretty early, you know.
As Proxy now then comes into the pits now then, as also coming in will be Arnold and Curtis, who are only just behind him. Into the pits goes Arnold, and also coming in will be Aaron Curtis, the outgoing champion. But let's see where Proxy rejoins in comparison to Martins, because of course those two were fighting before they had to make the mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, this should be very interesting. Has the overcut worked? What did it stop like? 21 laps of fuel, dry tires. He's gonna have to wait for Arnold. Martins is gonna be ahead.
Yep, as that's not exactly what Proxy had in mind, and through already goes Martins as a result of that.
Darabos comfortably in the lead. He is a long way away.
Martins will be up into 2nd place. Moore will get up into 3rd, so he's currently on the podium, and it looks like Proxy is going to rejoin in 5th behind Nguyen here.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like, and Watzel is in the fight as well. It's important for Martins not to be overtaken by these guys. I think I've said many times. Oscar is in P12 languishing, struggling, and he needs to hope something happens to Martins if he wants the title, because otherwise he's not going to get it.
Farina looks like he's going to pass him down into turn 4 here. He's on the inside, and Farina gets the move done. That's P12 for the Italian.
Oscar is massively struggling for grip there. And if he loses this championship, what might be the reason is Dennis Graf understeers a little bit into the 3rd corner.
Yeah, indeed, but luckily didn't go fully off to the track. But yeah, his race was pretty much ruined after the first lap incidents that happened, which involved the 2 Dams drivers.
Indeed. Martins is over 8 seconds down with Darabos. Yeah, he's definitely winning this race, unless something happens. And now Protsuk is attacking Nguyen. Watzel is 2 seconds down these guys, but I think he needs to pit, doesn't he?
I think he's already pitted, I think Watzel has. Correct me
He's going to the end of the race then, right. Martins needs to head of these guys.
Obviously, Crest needs to pit again, because of course he had a mechanical issue a little bit earlier on, so he's going to have to pit for a 2nd time. But here comes Protsuk all over the back of Nguyen. Is he going to finally get 4th place of the Vietnamese driver? But Nguyen goes defensive.
He's going to fight him hard.
Nguyen holds on to that 4th place. It's definitely clear that Proxy's lapping quicker, but again, just has issues with being stuck in traffic at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely right. But he's gonna try get into Ferradura. No chance. Maybe around the outside if you're Magic Alonso, but nobody else can do it.
Anyway, as Daniel, look at the lead he's got. He's got 8 seconds over Martins. It just shows how quick he was in the first stint.
Yeah, of course, he pitted early, but even though there are people that have fresher tires, looks like his pace is the real deal.
Indeed so, as we look back now to the battle for 4th between Hoang-Min Nguyen and Ruslan Proxyuk at this stage.
Yep. Martins from now on just needs to manage the pace. Take that P2. It doesn't matter if he doesn't win this race, because Oskin is not in the point. So as long as Martins is in the top 5, he'll be
Proxyuk is now on the inside of Nguyen, but again, just hasn't got enough momentum to get the move done. Can he possibly try and get him down into turn 4, though? We will have to wait and see.
Oskin is an unlucky 13th. It looks like he might be dropping another place to Agatino Bivona.
Verona trying to have a go. He's going to be very aggressive about it, and Oskin trying his best to hold it around the outside, but looks like Bavona's going to hang it around the outside, and that's P13.
What an incredible move that was.
We've got a fight for 9th, Bruin, meanwhile, as meanwhile again, Nguyen holding up Proxyuk, and it could be dragging Watzel into this.
Yeah, indeed. Watzel, of course, very dangerous. He's in that P6, which Martins must avoid. But the pit stop stages have brought him a little bit of a cushion to these guys. Look, there's more. And Martins is 2 seconds further up the road. So if these guys have a lot of pace, they can't catch and pass Martins. I think Martins needs to do everything, not to focus on catching Darbosh, that's not going to happen. He needs to focus on remaining at least in the top 5, if not on the podium.
Meanwhile, look at Watzel, meanwhile. I'm just looking in the mirrors of Proxy. He was looking around the outside to see if he can get a move done, as they're both trying to get a run.
Proxyuk's turn to attack, you know.
There's Proxy now on the inside. Again, Nguyen opting to go defensive. There's just enough space, but in the end, Nguyen just about closed.
They collided, but somehow there's no damage. And Henry Watzel takes the place, but Proxy retakes around the outside, which turns in the inside for turn 3. How was there no damage there? Big contact, but nothing hurt aside from perhaps some egos. As Watzel goes for the move into the Interlagos, he can't make it stick, but Nguyen has been able to pull away. Let's hope this guy didn't take too much damage.
Thought for a minute there both Proxyuk and Nguyen's races were going to end right there. How on earth did neither of them get major damage from that? That looked a little bit optimistic from Ruslan, it must be said there, but somehow no major damage for the pair of them.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see it once again. Nguyen moved him to squeeze him towards the wall. Proxyuk kept on his line, went for a gap that was closing. I'd say Proxyuk is mostly to blame, but not. But Nguyen has a little bit of blame as well, but Proxyuk is mostly to blame, I think.
Yeah, and Nguyen was entitled to defend that place, and he'd already got it defended, but for whatever reason, Proxyuk thought there was just enough gap for him to dive, and clearly there wasn't as he ran into the back of Nguyen there, but Watzel nearly getting the place there as a result, but Proxyuk was just able to hang on just about. But they've also got Cresu right behind, who, let's not forget, is still yet to make his second stop, so he's a little bit irrelevant in this race, but he's also got, I think that's Adam Chobot just behind as well, so maybe looking at a very good haul of points for VAR in the final race of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we can overtake Tobias Kress here.
While Valdinger has passed Oskin, meanwhile, unseen by the camera, so Oskin has lost another place in this race, this time to one of his rivals.
Yeah, though, it looks like Valdinger won't be getting any closer to him in the championship, but at least he got him on track.
Indeed so, as they make their way up the hill. Meanwhile, Oskin all over the back of Gabriel Quintino now, then, as they fight for 9th position on the inside, and Arnold gets the move done, and that's P9 for the German, as Chobot now is trying to get by on Tobias Kress.
He's gaining in the slipstream. He's going to get a great chance here. Can he pull it off? Look at the streamline speed advantage. Into turn 4, he's got him.
D7 for the Slovakian drivers. Now he'll try to put pressure on Henry Watson. Meanwhile, Proxyuk has got back onto the back of Nguyen, meanwhile.
Yeah, the fight continues, and Martins is pulling away a little bit from these guys.
Is indeed, as these two continue to scrap for 4th position now, then as they continue to lose time to the top 3 in front.
Yep, and this is not all what Oscar needs. I'm sure these guys don't care about the championship fight, but they want to improve their race position.
Indeed so, as Propsuit makes his way through into the left-hander now, and up the hill he goes. He's now trying to put some pressure on the Guin in front as they're going to go side by side through into the left-hander, but not close enough on that occasion, but he could go for a run into turn 1 again. Hopefully these two keep it clean this time.
Well, let's see. Protsuk is going to go for it. It's a little drizzly here. And looks like not a little wide, but Kress is making the move on Chobot. Very close here between the two of them. But Kress has the grip to make it work.
As now Protsuk, is he going to get 4th this time from the Guin as they're going to go side by side down towards turn 4? It doesn't look like again that Protsuk's got the overlap on the Guin, and as a result, the Guin is just going to hold on for the moment.
Yeah, Guin's got some great strength and speed in that Prema. That's why it's so hard for Protsuk to overtake him.
Indeed so, and now Watzel is back onto the prowl of these two as a result.
Yeah.
They go through the right and left-hander now then, as Kress is going to get away a little bit from Chobot. But of course, Kress does need to pit again, so he's a little bit irrelevant in this top 10 scrap.
Unfortunately so, but he could go for the fastest lap at the very least.
Could indeed, especially the fresher tyres. It looks like the rain has started to now disappear. As a lock-up there from the Guin going... Yeah, that's a lock-up from the Guin going around Young Cow. Will both Protsuk and Watzel try and take advantage? Watzel's trying to go all the way around the outside of Protsuk here, going around the final few corners, and he's not close off on this occasion as Protsuk is in the slipstream of Bavona in front, but he's surprisingly not close enough. Surprisingly not close enough to get the move done down into the first corner.
Meanwhile, Martins has an 11-second gap to these guys. So the championship is really coming his way as Kress has that pit call. He's going to box now.
Will Protsuk get the move on the Guin this time by as he tries again, but it looks like the momentum is again just not working out for that MP Motorsport, and same story really.
He's running too much drag.
Kress is just right behind, but of course he's coming into the pits at the end of this lap, so he won't be too much of a factor in this.
No, definitely not, but he might try to still get his nose in. Oh, Guin spun around!
Spun around, he's bottled under pressure, and Protsuk is up into 4th place.
How did this happen? My goodness.
Looks like it's just a pure driver error. There was no contact between him and Protsuk. I think that was just him being cracked under pressure there.
What a shame for the balls there.
Either way, Oskin gains a place from this, but he's still out of the points. It's not going to be enough for him to win the title. At the moment, it's all going Martin's way at the moment.
Yeah. Oskin needs P5, and that's not going to happen. He's a long way away from P5.
And here is the replay, and it was a driver error for the Vietnamese driver. I think we're going to get an on-board look at it because the camera doesn't do a disservice up here. But as you can see, Cow gets the twitch of oversteer and then just loses the back end, and that was that really. Couldn't really catch it.
No, once he got off, he lost it mid-corner, went onto a curb, and that spun him round.
Indeed, and well, that's I'm afraid that's
what
all
a shame. He's just thrown all his.
As you were saying there, Rob, it was just thrown that one away as Kress comes into the pits.
Yeah, Kress is in.
And,
what do you mean, who are the people that have a shot again?
Who are you talking to?
You're looking for the chat.
He means a shot for the title, I think. They are Oscar, Martins, and Valdinger. As Kress finishes his final stop of the day, but he's going to be way outside the points as a result. I think even the Guin will get through as well, even after that mistake. So, yeah, it's pretty much that, really. Or will he, in fact, because the positions haven't changed yet for Kress. Now they have. Nguyen is back up into 17th place, but yeah, Nguyen has pretty much thrown away a very big points haul today.
Absolutely right. What a shame. At least he's gonna get those. He's got those 4 points for pole, but he ain't getting any more. Not at this rate.
Just looking at the gap between the top two, it is 9.5 seconds as Martins continues to pull away from Blake Moore. I think it's just trying to get this this podium place, given the tricky season he's had.
Yeah, absolutely right. He'll move out of P21, I think. But yeah, Darabosh with the victory will remain in last in the standings. Blake Moore will move up a couple of places, I think. But yeah, Darabosh can't go any better than P21, and he can only get P21 if Moore has a bad day, and Moore is having a great day. Both him and Darabosh are doing well today. So we're going to have a race winner who ended up last in the standings. This has been quite a season indeed, hasn't it?
As indeed. Well, in fact, if Farina actually drops out of the points, then he and Delebosch would actually be level, because of course Daniel is still holding on to the bonus points for the fastest lap of the race, which is
Oh yeah, he has the fastest lap, then he wouldn't be in last.
Well, that's if Farina is in the points, which he currently is. So Farina would actually be a point ahead of Delebosch. But if he loses another place, then Delebosch would beat him on a countback of wins. So we'll see on that. It depends on if Pavona can get onto the back of Farina or not. Meanwhile, Chris is going to get the move on Nguyen here, and he does.
And he did it. He got past.
As he's going to pull away a little bit and see if he can possibly try and get a fastest lap out of this or not. He won't on this occasion because obviously he's too busy to battle with Nguyen.
Wait, Darabosh has 9 points, not just... No, he wasn't up all, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, Darabosh has 3 points. But why does it say he has 5 points? All his points are... Oh, a P8, not a P9, sorry. He has 5 points, yeah. So if he wins, he'll be... If he wins, he'll be on 30 points. But with the fastest lap, 32, so he just needs... Farina not to score a point if he wants to get out last.
Indeed, as we look now at Moore, who's got a 6.2 second cushion over Protsuk. I'm not sure if Protsuk is gaining on him or not, because we haven't really checked the gaps between those two. As Daniel, meanwhile, has now got the gap to over 10 seconds, as it looks like Protsuk's just at a moment coming out of the left-hander there. See what his gap is like now. Let's see his gap now between him and Moore. It's 5.9 seconds, so he is gaining a bit onto him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he'll lose a bit, thanks to that little mistake he just did.
Is Moore gaining on Martins?
I don't think so. I think Martins was pulling away.
And that's great news for him.
As we now look at Quintino, who's actually trying to close in on Alexander Arnold in front. The gap is actually 1 second, but he's got Aaron Curtis right behind him as well. Curtis is actually half a second behind and trying to see if he can get 4 championship points out of this.
Yep, indeed, the reigning champion will hand his crown. It looks like he'll probably hand his crown to a Brazilian, just like Dudu Kirby gave him that crown after his title win. Dudu Kirby won it, of course, in 2019, and then he passed the torch to Aaron Curtis in 2020, and now he will return it to a Brazilian. If Jonas Martins can just bring it home, P2 will be more than enough. He will be champion by 10 points if it stays as is.
Indeed, he would if it were to stay like this, of course.
And, of course, Sameroskan must be regretting the mistakes he's made this season, especially bowling. It could have been a very good result at Silverstone.
Yeah, indeed, as Protsuk is continuing to gain on to Moore. In fact, it's actually down to 4.8 seconds as Watsall has a bit of a moment going through into Young Cal there, and he's now got Chobot all over the back of him. So we've got a fight for fifth going on here. As meanwhile, Curtis is now going to start to put Quintino under a bit of pressure here.
Yeah, here we go with Curtis. Can he make the move on Gabriel Quintino? It'll be his last race, of course, because he did not sign up. So his last race will be at home at the very least. Quintino defends the inside and gets back to the racing line.
But let's see if Curtis can get a run on Quintino down towards turn 4. As long as he gets a good run out of turn 3, he should be able to. Meanwhile, Chobot on the inside of Henry Watsall. Is this going to be P5 for the Slovakian driver and the current Williams test driver? It is indeed. Chobot up into 5th. Has Curtis got Quintino? He has. Up into P8 goes the outgoing champion.
Crest is the fastest lap. He's taken them away from Darabosh, which means Darabosh will be last.
Which is a bit of a shame, really, unless something, of course, happens to Blake Moore, but at the rate it's going, I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's quite strange to be last in the championship and have a race win.
It is indeed, but it had to happen at some point, I guess.
Well, there's a first for everything.
As we ride on board with Martins, who's looking very, very comfortable in second place and looking good for the title at the moment. But of course, there's still 6 laps to go. Anything can still happen.
Yeah, indeed. Oskan could still gain a bunch of positions out of nowhere. So he just needs to pray that the cars who are behind him remain behind him and don't give 8 places to Oskan, because Oskan right now needs 5th to win the title. And he would win on a countback if he was 5th right now.
Would indeed, but at the rate it's going, Oscar is going to need to pray to the heavens for him to get up into that place because he's way down in 13th position.
The only thing Oskan can do really is hope Martins makes a mistake or has a failure. That's the only thing that can bring it back to Oskan.
As Protsuit currently 3.5 seconds back from Blake Moore, who's currently holding on to that final podium place. Protsuit is still gaining onto him, but will he gain onto him in time to have a go at him potentially on the final lap? As Kress is having a go at Suto for 16th.
5 laps to go in this race. It's quite flown by, really, but it hasn't failed to deliver excitement. Yep. I wonder who's gonna be in front of this battle. He's trying to go for the move here on just for Suto.
2.8 seconds now, the gap between Moore and Protsyuk in the fight for third position. So I think it's going to be quite close towards the end of the race between Moore and Protsyuk.
Oh yeah, Flo, give us the calendar so we can reveal it after the race.
I don't think he wants to reveal it yet, does he?
No, he said in the stream chat. He said in the chat that you and I can announce after the race if we want to.
I think would Flo rather do it his own way or not? I think. Anyway.
He just asked us if he wants to do it, so we are.
If he, as meanwhile, Farina is under pressure. In fact, from well, I thought he was, but that's actually Keoshani trying to once again unlap himself in this race. As meanwhile, Kress, is he going to get the move done on Jose Federic Suto? It looks like he will get the move done, and he does. P16 goes the German.
Yep, he's got him. He has the fastest lap, so he's gonna get points today, but only the bonus points. With everyone else suffering from time where I don't see anybody getting a new fastest lap, it'll go to Tobias Kress. Which means Daniel Darabosch will win the race, and unless something happens to Blake Moore, he will still remain last in the standings. With a race win. My gosh.
Yep, indeed. As meanwhile, it looks like Curtis is trying to get a hold of Alexander Arnold in front, and but he's not close enough on this occasion to get him. If he gets a good enough run out of the first 3 corners, he could maybe go for a move down into turn 4.
Yeah, indeed. But he's going to be very close exiting the Curva do Sol. Tell you what, he is getting, and I don't think he'll be enough for a move. As now Rose Hansen is passing Samet Oscar. Oscar shuts the door, defends the inside. There might be contact here, but Oscar goes wide and backs out. Hansen goes extremely wide in turn 2. She can't gain the position anymore on this lap.
Yep, Henson stays 14th and loses momentum as a result and not able to get Oskin on this occasion. Not too far behind, we've got Dennis Graf and Tobias Kress also gaining, so the 2 German drivers, I don't know whether they'll be able to get them towards the end of the race, but either way, it could be a little bit of an ask for the pair of them. At this stage, we've got 3 laps to go of this 2021 season.
Yep, and what a season it has been. The OCF2 car is definitely not disappointed. They've been racing quite well.
They've been able to be quite raceable in this season, and it'll be very interesting to see how they do in future seasons. Curtis again not close enough to get a hold of Arnold at this state, and it just seems like he struggles a little bit with traction compared to Arnold. Not 100% sure really.
Yep, that's right. And he's trying to keep pushing, but we're running out of time in this race, of course.
Yep,
you know, I'm surprised we haven't had any mechanical DNFs today.
Indeed so, and for anybody wondering, of course, with the championship, of course, once Martins crosses the line, we need to wait for somebody to cross the line in 5th position before we can officially confirm it. So just thought I'd point that out before you start wondering why there isn't a graphic that comes up.
Yeah, indeed. And in that moment, it's Adam Chobot who is like 16 seconds behind Martins. So we will wait 16 seconds from when Martins crosses the line. Don't ask him as champion. If he can bring it home, of course.
We're now onto the penultimate lap of the race, and Curtis is still trying to put Arnold under pressure in the fight for 7th position as they make their way through into Young Cow. Is Curtis close enough on this occasion to maybe go for a move on Arnold? You know what? I think he is a little bit closer, in fact.
He's definitely gaining, but I think it's going to be a move into turn 4, 9 to 1. He's gaining some more depth, so it might be a move into 1, actually.
Gonna look to the inside. I think he's gonna I think he's just about gonna get the overlap on the German into the first corner. Has Curtis got the move done? Arnold still trying to stick with him through into turn 2, but it's not gonna be enough.
And very nice.
P7 for the outgoing champion. And, well, that will be 6 championship points for him. It's Crest now trying to have a go at his fellow compatriot Graf into the first corner. Is he going to get the move done on Dennis Graf into turn 1? As they go side by side, and he has done. That's P15 for Crest.
Pretty much an easy pass there, much easier than the one Curtis had to pull off. Nevertheless, some great racing for the pack.
We've got a fight for third now between Moore and Proxy. So Proxy has gained onto him towards the final lap of the race. As speaking of final laps, I think Daniel is about to start the final lap very, very soon, which he does now.
Yep, indeed. He's had a terrible season, but that could all be rectified. He will remain last in the championship, even if Moore is overtaken, because Darbosh is 17 points behind Moore. So, yeah.
Proxy going to spoil Moore's party here. He's on the back of Moore. He's going to try and go onto the inside. Moore having to go defensive as best as he can into the first corner. Proxy going that aggressive through into turn 1. Moore trying to stick with him. He holds on to that third place for the moment. And Proxy's traction has been lost. I think Moore has got this in the bag. Yeah, he's got the podium sealed up. Meanwhile, here we have Daniel Darabosh. Let's talk about his season because it's been absolutely terrible. Every single race was terrible until the last race. Came out of nowhere, and he had brilliant pace from 11th on the grid. Surely, Undisputed will be voted as driver of the day by us once this stream is done. But then, just like Dennis Graf here, this man is going to take his first ever victory in Brazil. Daniel Darabosh has just got one more corner to go, and he will be a race winner for the first time ever. Here we go. White flags being waved. Daniel Darabosh comes through and for the first time ever in Formula 2 is a race winner. He wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Jonatas Martins crosses the line in second soon enough. And he has done everything he needed to do for the championship. We just need to wait. Martins crosses the line. We just need to wait for fifth. For Joe to cross in fifth. But look at this. Prozic trying past Moore. No, Moore will hold on. Which means Darbosh will be last in the standings, of course. But now, as Adam Chobot crosses the line, that is it. Jonatas Martins is your 2021 Formula 2 champion of the world, and he's done it at home in Brazil. Incredible stuff. Martins has had a very weak start to the season, but ever since that first win in Austria, that first win that came after a brilliant race, he's been on an absolute roll of form. He DNF'd in Britain, but he won again at Spa. He didn't score points at Monza, but then he got 2 podiums on the trot in France and Malaysia. He got 4th in Japan and the USA, and now 2nd, and that's very, very good consistency, and has been enough to give him the championship over his teammate Samuel Oscar. I think Oscar will be very disappointed with that, but the man of the moment has brought Brazil into jubilation. The fans are so happy for him. And the Kevin Magnussen helmet as well, huh? But yeah, Jonatas Martins, he's not your race winner today, but he's your world champion in one season. He came out of nowhere after a terrible start to the year, but he recovered in the second half. He recovered beautifully, and has taken this championship. What an amazing season for Jonatas Martins. Do you agree, Joe? As indeed, and a fully deserved championship for the Brazilian as well. And yeah, congratulations to you, Antis Martins, on winning the first ever F2 title.
141 points. I think that is the most points a champion has taken in the F2 era. And I mean, in the last few years, ever since Franco Gamba, ever since we changed the system, But nevertheless, that is it for this race today. Daniel Darabos is our race winner for the first time, even though he is still last in the championship. He is a race winner, so what a season! The man in last took a win. Ratas Mart is second and champion by 10 points. Blake Moore is third, Ruslan Protsuk fourth, Adam Chobot fifth, Henry Wattle sixth, Darren Curtis P7. Quite close the battle for third, that was. Alexander Arnold P8, Gabriel Quintino P9, and Luca Farina takes the last point in P10. Agatero Bivona is 11th, and you can do the rest, Joe.
Hans Valdinger in 12th. It was always going to be a task for him to win the title, but whether he'll be on the top class grid next season, we will wait and see. Samat Oscar in 13th. He loses out on the championship, and we'll more than likely see him in F2 next season because he didn't sign up for the top class, but it's been a good season for Oscar nonetheless. Rose Henson in 14th. Tobias Kress 15th. What might have been for him? Dennis Graf 16th with Joseph Federic Suto 17th. Hawaii Miniguin in 18th. He really bottled the chance of finishing in 4th today after that spin. Jafari Blackwood in 19th, and Von Chanak Keoshani, the only person a lap down, in 20th, and the only two retirements being Gabriel Rico and Hento Sinonome as a result of them, crashing in the pit lane, but obviously we had to make them run out of fuel because of the pit lane glitch. But yeah, they were the only two retirements from this race.
Yep, indeed, and now we won't be hearing the Brazilian national anthem. We will be hearing something else in honor of our race winner Daniel Darabos.
Before that, let's have a look at the fastest lap before we jump ahead of ourselves.
Sorry, it's Tobias Kress.
Kress gets the 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race, and not far away from Daniel. But now we can do the national anthems, Rob.
Yeah, my mistake. I apologize for that. But nevertheless, now it is time for the Hungarian national anthem. All right. First up, who is going to be the driver of the day for today, guys? I think it's quite clearly Daniel Darabos.
I think Darabos as well. I mean, considering the season he's had, it's just amazing that he's won the final race of the season. And if he's in F2 next season, he'll be hoping to build on that. But we will wait and see, of course, what happens when we get to the driver announcements at the final race of the top class season in 2 weeks' time, of course.
Yes, indeed. Now then, it is time for the GP4 OC to F2 2022 calendar. First up, we'll have pre-season testing. Day 1, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Day 2, Baku, Azerbaijan. Here we have the race calendar. The first voted track will be the first race. The second race will be Baku in Azerbaijan. The third race will be Hockenheim in Germany. The fourth race will be Barcelona in Spain. The fifth race will be Spielberg in Austria. The sixth race will be Silverstone in the UK. The seventh race will be the second voted track. The eighth race will be Spa in Belgium. The ninth race will be Monza in Italy. The 10th race will be Algarve in Portugal. The 11th race will be the wild card, which will be picked by Flo. The 12th race will be the third voted track. and the 13th race will be Balcarce in Argentina. Hashtag subject to testing. So yeah, that is the grid. That is the calendar for next season. We're going back to 13 races. Malaysia is getting the chop. What do you think of this calendar, guys? What do you think of it, Joe?
It's going to be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see what the first voted race of the season is going to be. The wildcard race. It'll be interesting to see what Flo chooses for round 11 of the season, and the inclusion of Balcarce. I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, it will need some testing, I believe, but if things go well for that, I think it could be a good race there.
Yeah, indeed. But I want to say something personally. Even though I might go to OC jail for this, for trying to rig the vote, everyone please vote for Interlagos. We need it back next season. You can vote for it, so please do it.
Indeed, and I think Flo will give out an extra document about that later on, and
Yeah,
so.
indeed.
But yeah, that is the 2021 season done with.
It was a very fun season, wasn't it, Joe?
It
We
was
got a new
indeed.
commentator introduced as well, and we had some really fun races.
Indeed so, and I'm just wondering how will Flo do the voted stuff because last time he obviously revealed the calendar and put a voted thing in the comments section. I know that people can obviously DM, of course, but that's
Well, first we need to wait for the lineups next season to be announced before we open up the voting.
Yes, true indeed, and I think Flo will probably DM those drivers when the driver lineup gets revealed, which will be in 2 weeks' time, by the way, guys. For anybody wondering.
Yeah, indeed. I hope we can still record it. We'll see, of course.
Hopefully, we'll see, of course, if I'm able to allow you to record the F2 lineup or not. But I'll let you know, of course, in due course.
All right then. Well, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. One more question, Joe. What do you think was your race of the season?
Ooh, that's a tough one. What was my race of the season? God, you put me on the spot here. What could have been the best race of the season? I think Dijon offered off a very, very good race, to be honest with you, this season. I know you weren't there for that, obviously, Rob, but from what I saw, it was a very, very good race to watch. As expected, quite a lot of overtaking.
I saw the replay of it. I've seen there was plenty of passing. Honestly,
I'm
my favorite race of the season was Austria. Martin's first victory.
Yeah, I think there has been a lot of good races, and be interesting to see
Absolutely.
if we'll get any more good races next season.
Indeed. Well, what a season this has been. We have a brand new champion, and once again, Brazil is on top of the feeder series. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me and Flo and whoever my secondary commentators were from race to race. Thank you for joining us for this entire season. I hope it did not disappoint you. I think the rebrand to F2 was a massive success, and I can't wait for the second season of F2. Who knows if Martins will remain or if he'll go to the top class. If he will remain, he has a title to defend, of course. So we'll see what happens. But until then, that's been it for myself and Flo and Joe. We will see you again tomorrow for the top class race in Abu Dhabi. But that's been it from us in Brazil. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again for the next one. Take care.
Bye bye.